All right, Jaguar fans, back at it with another preview video. Week 6, another AFC South game. That's what, 3 in the first 6 games we play against the AFC South. But ironically enough, we're playing a team twice. So we're playing the Colts once again. Jaguars come into this game 2-3, third place in the AFC South, while the Colts are sitting at 2-1. They are second place in the AFC South. So this is going to be another little matchup here. Now, so far, when it comes to the injury report, I kept refreshing the Colts Twitter account to see like exactly what the injury report is looking like, the most updated one, but I wasn't able to get the Friday report. But there are a couple guys that are confirmed to be out. One of them is linebacker Darius Shaquille Leonard, whatever he wants to be called nowadays. He will be out. He did not actually play in the week 2 game against the Jaguars. He came back from his back injury and then he immediately got a concussion. So this guy's just getting the beating right now when it comes to the injury sheet. And also defensive end Kwity Paye will be out. He suffered a pretty significant looking injury Thursday Night Football against the Broncos. He's a very talented defensive end in that 4-3 scheme who they actually drafted in the first round of the 2021 NFL draft, so that's going to be a help for the Jaguars on the defensive side of the ball. And overall, they're pretty banged up. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's kind of day to day. You also have like Nyheim Hines who suffered a concussion. So there's just really guys all over the field, the offense and defense that are banged up. So this is really going to be one where you have to monitor the inactives on Sunday, an hour and a half before kickoff. Now, going into this game, the Jaguars demolished the Colts during week 2. They beat them 24-0 at home. However, we know about the Jaguars' home streak. But when it comes to the away streak, I mean, we haven't won in Lucas Oil Stadium in some time. It's been since 2017 since the Jaguars got a victory there. You know, Colts fans would say, oh, we always talk about the Jaguars' home streak. We never talk about the Indianapolis home streak. Well, the reason is because the Jaguars have been awful, and usually every year the Colts are so much better than the Jags. So that one isn't surprising. But yeah, usually the game's a lot different in Indianapolis. So the Jaguars look to hopefully break that streak. Now, the Colts should be a lot better this game, especially on offense, because they get Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce back for this one. Though a couple big body receivers. I remember last time around they actually did not play. And when you looked at the wide receiver core for the Colts, I mean, it literally looked like the fourth quarter of a preseason game. The way that wide receiver room was looking, it was terrible. And the Jaguars clearly took advantage of that as there were no points scored. So there was really not much of a threat. They really weren't getting on our side of the 50 very often. It was just the Jaguars dominated that one. So we should get a lot more tough matchups this time around. Now, what do we know about the Colts? I mean, Matt Ryan is a guy. He's another Band-Aid quarterback for the Colts, and he's just hasn't been great. I mean, you could really argue if the Colts really upgraded that much from Carson Wentz. I mean, maybe from a locker room perspective or like a meeting room perspective, maybe Matt Ryan is an overall better teammate. But when you look at the play on the field, I mean, he's turning the ball over Matt Ryan a lot, and I don't know. And he's clearly a shell of his former self when he was once an NFL MVP. So Matt Ryan, what we know is, look, if we can get the pass rush back there, if you get a hand on Matt Ryan, he's going down. The Jaguars went a couple weeks ago against Jalen Hurts, a good mobile quarterback. I mean, Matt Ryan, as long as we get him to hold on to the ball, one thing Davis Mills was doing a lot last week, he was getting rid of the ball quick. So if we can get this guy in a mode of holding on to the ball for a while, that should be good for the Jaguars because we can get after the quarterback in this game. I feel like because a couple things that have been happening with the Colts is that the offensive line, they are massively paid, but they are also massively regressed from last year. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's coaching. I know the Colts are in a weird situation right now where it feels like the GM Chris Ballard and head coach Frank Reich are kind of dead men walking. It feels like there's going to be a whole entire organizational shift next year. So, there might be some offensive linemen that they might be taking some dead cat next year. I mean, we'll see. But because the offensive line has regressed, Jonathan Taylor has also regressed. So offensively, they're a mess right now. I mean, they truly are a mess. Now their strength is the other side of the ball, the defense. Their defense really dominated the Broncos last week. I mean, they forced a couple of end zone interceptions. Gilmore, really good game last week. 2 interceptions for him. And Ngakoue has been coming on lately. The linebacker core is pretty weak, but overall, when it comes to the Colts, they've got good weapons. When it comes to the skill players, with, like I said, with Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman, and also their linebackers or not their linebackers, their tight ends. Mo Alley-Cox, I mean, he can get the job done. They have games where the tight ends just explode, and other games where they just don't. So that's kind of one to look at. Now, when it comes to the Jaguar side of the ball, I mean, all eyes are going to be on number 16, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, that's the fact of the matter. We've seen a couple different sides of Trevor Lawrence. I mean, from weeks 2 through 3, he had a 77% completion percentage, 527 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He won AFC Player of the Week one of those weeks, and after the Chargers game, and we all thought Trevor Lawrence arrived. He's here. Awesome stuff. But then weeks 4 through 5, he had a 51% completion percentage, 460 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. And after that game, a portion of Jaguar fans were ready to throw this man off of the Buckman Bridge. I mean, Jags fans are all over the place right now with Trevor Lawrence. I've had numerous people comment on my last video saying, we're tired of being patient. What we need to do, we need to draft their rookie next year and move on for Trevor Lawrence. Let me say that again. They said they're tired of being patient with bad quarterback play, so they want to draft a rookie next year. Those are the kind of takes that I've been getting. So, yeah, people are all over the place with Trevor Lawrence, but definitely a work in progress. So, I mean, all eyes are going to be on him. He needs to get better. There's no doubt about it. We can't afford him to have 3 bad games in a row. So, yeah, a lot of this is going to be on Trevor. Hopefully, we put in a good game plan to kind of enable him to do good. A couple guys in those games that really disappeared, Christian Kirk and Zay Jones. I mean, Zay Jones missed the Eagles game, but the last 2 weeks, not a whole lot of stats out of those guys. Those are the 2 wide receivers that are making the most money. Those are supposed to be our number 1s and number 2 receivers, so we got to get them back involved. Christian Kirk had a very good game against the Colts last time around, so we need to continue to see that out of him. Another thing the coaching staff needs to figure out is just the running back splits. We still haven't figured that out yet. I mean, we got to feed the hot hand. And, ETN was good. I want to see more ETN at the end of the day. He provides the speed. We don't even have to do like handoffs to him. Just set up him on some screens, some shallow passes. What the Jaguars are doing good. I mean, they're doing good on the intermediate passes, and just lean on what we're doing good. Because I know Doug Peterson likes his offense to run a certain way. However, right now what Doug Peterson doesn't have the dominant number 1 receiver. He doesn't have the dominant top 5 tight end in the NFL. So you have to play the kind of pieces that you have, and you have to play to the strengths of your team. Right now we have some quick skill players that aren't massively sized. And, we have a quarterback that right now, we need to probably simplify the game for him a little bit and get him comfortable. Maybe have an easier playbook with the first half. And once Trevor Lawrence gets rolling, gets a feel for things, then open it up more. Because, Trevor Lawrence, in the games that he's been good, it's like first quarter completion. And the next thing you look, and Trevor Lawrence is like 9 for 10 passing in the first quarter. And then the rest of the game just flows and he's dominant. So we have to figure out a way to get Trevor Lawrence out to a quick, healthy, good start. Next up, on the defensive side, we need to be able to get pressure with 4 guys. Last couple games, the pressure has kind of gone away. Luckily, I mean, it looks like we're going to be full strength at the defensive line. Fatukasi will be back. So, yeah, we need to find the pass rush again. So that's another big thing. Now, when it comes to what I expect out of this game, I expect the Jaguars to win. Because if the Jaguars lose this and fall to 2-4, I might jump out to Buckman Bridge. In all seriousness, I mean, this season, I feel like for me, it's going to be a race to 500. And And really, if you drop this one, the next chance you get at being 500 is like halfway through the season, and that would not be an ideal spot. We need to just stick around that 500 mark. The Jaguars have an opportunity to go 3-3 this game after this game, and we do not want to be 2-4. Especially that would make us 1-2 in the AFC South. I mean, we want the Jaguars to hang around. We want the Jaguars to be a threat to make the playoffs. And if we lose this game, we might be fading back into irrelevancy. Well, we're going to be fading back into the 26 through 32 in the power rankings. And, right now, when I watch the Jaguars, I don't watch these games and think that we're way less talented than the other team we're playing. It feels like we have the talent there. We might be weak in a couple areas, but what teams aren't weak in a couple areas? So we got to go out there and, just play our game, play good, disciplined football, even if, maybe even win ugly. I mean, I don't even care. Like right now, the Jaguars, we've had the blowouts. Now I just want to see, look, if we play a bad game, can we go out there and win? We've seen, we saw just last night. I mean, the Commanders played an awful game and somehow won. The Jaguars, the Colts last week against the Broncos played terribly and still won. I mean, the Jaguars, it's almost like I would take an ugly win where Trevor throws for 210, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and it's just a slot fest, and we win. I mean, clearly I'd like to have a blowout, but, we just need to get over those humps, man. We need to just grow as a team. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So that's what I got to say about that. So to wrap things up, I will be streaming this game. Very excited to be back. Hopefully it goes as well as the last Colts game that happened, because I like to win. Winning makes me smile. Winning makes me happy. So hopefully all you guys can be there with me. Now, let me know your thoughts about this one. Do you think the Jaguars will win? Do you think the Jaguars are going to take the L? I'd love to hear from you. And with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like for me on your way out. Go Jags.
Okay, Jacksonville Jaguars, too much for your crew to handle. Keep it lit, and this is the #1 YouTube channel by UCF Jaguar. Yeah, we about to blast off. If you've been a fan, then this is the dopest platform. Yeah, never hold back. Gotta represent for the teal and black.